Time then for the teams to head out to sea for the second of 4 races that will make up this year's XCat World Series. 21 boats, each with 2 crew, a driver to steer and a throttleman to control the amount of power being transferred from the twin V6 engines. Before the action gets underway, let's take a look at the current championship standings. Race 1 winners Extreme Marine lead the way with 20 points. Lux Media Offshore are second on 15, and Abu Dhabi Racing are third on 12. Westerland Racing, Qatar Team and Wind of Rome complete the top 6. And it's championship positions that determine the start order, so Extreme Marine line up on pole. We're about to get underway then with round 2 of the XCat World Series. The boats all lining up ready for the start. Much choppier conditions out there than we've had for practice on board with Westerland Racing. And look at the amount of spray that's coming up already. And contact there with Savizzi Fondiari when they couldn't see where they were going. So there's a bit of a melee in the midfield. The race now gets underway and the throttlemen lay out that power. Away they go on the far side then. It's Extreme Marine on pole position on board with Lux Media, who start second. But they've already dropped back 2 or 3 positions. And on the near side, the 2 black boats closest to camera of Fazza, who are coming from the very back of the field, but they're away to good starts. And this is the rear-facing camera from Rock Racing. It's in that pack with Fazza, looking back now at the number 28 boat of Bacchi, the Italian team, which cuts across the weight now and moves towards the inside. But here are the leaders: Extreme Marine, the black boat on the left, Nicolini Offshore, the Italians, with a tremendous start from 7th up to 2nd. But I think they're about to concede the position to Abu Dhabi Racing and indeed to Pro Marine. On board with Qatar Team, they've fallen back from 5th spot, but they're about to work their way past the number 24 boat of Compisa Yamamei. So there's all sorts of action, but into the first mark, it's Extreme Marine that lead. Abu Dhabi Racing, the green boat, 2nd, 3rd, Nicolini Offshore. And coming around the outside, the 2 black boats of Fazza are threatening to get in the top 6. On board once again with Lux Media, and that is the La Vida Loca boat, the orange boat, which has also had a very good start from near the back of the field. So lots of back markers coming through up to the sharp end, including the black boat nearest to us, boat number 3, Fazza, which started right at the back. It's already up into the top 4. On board with Pro Marine now, they have come up from 12th position, having shown tremendous pace in race 1 until the boat let go on the closing laps. They're about to lose a place to Fazza, who comes storming past. They come storming past the blue boat of Nicolini Offshore, and here they are, the 2 men that were fastest in qualifying in round 1 but got no further than turn 2. They're about to move up to 2nd place. Indeed, they've done it. So up to 2nd place comes boat number 3, Fazza, chasing down race 1 winners and pole sitters Extreme Marine on this first lap of the race. 3rd, the ever-improving Abu Dhabi Racing team, who finished on the podium in Dubai last time out. And 4th, from 7th on the start line, is the number 6 boat of Nicolini Offshore. That's the battle for 6th, the white boat of Lux Media Offshore, which fell back from 2nd. Behind it, again, is La Vida Loca. And those 2 not too far back now from this battle for 4th place. Pro Marine, who indeed finished 4th in last year's championship, but were out of the points in round 1. They've come from 12th position on the start line, and now driver Grant Bruggeman is trying desperately to stay tight to the inside to stay out of the wake, but he has to cut across, and the boat gets absolutely covered in spray. Pretty rough conditions, but at the end of lap 1, it's Extreme Marine who lead the way. Here's a replay of the start from the virtual eye graphic, and you see that particularly in the middle of the field, a lot of boats were getting themselves tangled up there, and it led to 1 or 2 boats coming from quite far back. Notably, boat number 3, Faz, which started right at the back of the pack and got itself up into the top 6 very early on, and that boat now in 2nd place. There, though, are the race leaders. Boat 11, Extreme Marine, winners of round 1 of the championship. Fazza very close to them in that 2nd place. Another local team, Abu Dhabi Racing, running in 3rd position now after getting a podium in round 1 of the championship. And up to 4th, the Italian boat, Nicolini Offshore. Luca and Matteo Nicolini, the brothers, off to a good start. But right behind them, Pro Marine, boat number 19. And you're on board with the 6th place boat, Lux Media Offshore. So those 3 are tied together in a very close battle. On board now with Pro Marine, Grant Bruggeman behind the wheel, Gary Ballou on the throttles into the right hand, and they go, and they've drifted wide there because you're on board with Lux Media Offshore. Right in front is Nicolini Offshore, and out off picture now, having gone very wide through the mark, is the number 19 boat of Pro Marine. Here's a replay from Virtual Eye. Quite a distance back was boat number 96, and look how wide number 19 goes. A bit of a mistake there. They cut back in, but by the time they do that, the number 96 boat of Lux Media Offshore has drawn alongside. So this is the battle for fourth. Nicolini Offshore up front, side by side though. 19 Pro Marine and 96 Lux Media Offshore, and right behind the pair of them now, you've got the Qatar team boat as well, number 94. Tremendous battle in the midfield then. On board once again with Lux Media Offshore. like Seabold, the driver. Michel Carcenti is on the throttles, on board with them now. And behind this battle, running in 8th place, that's boat number 28, Bacchi, another Italian team, which is going well. And in 9th place, you're on board with Westerland Racing, who finished 4th in round 1, but had a terrible start before they even got underway. They were being barged out of position, and they've come from the back, and they're making good progress, but going the other way, slowing down. Carpisi Yamamei, that Italian boat, slows, and it's a problem again for number 33, the Fazza boat, the second Fazza boat for the second race running, off to a good start, but retires. And Nicolini Offshore then in 4th place, on board with Lux Media Offshore, which is up to 5th now, having got ahead of Pro Marine. You can see it's still pretty bumpy out there. There is the Lux Media Offshore boat, made their debut last time out and finished 2nd. So they're 2nd in the championship and on for some more good points here. See the boat absolutely out of the water as it hits the crests of the waves. And they have to try and stay out of the wake as well, because that will seriously impair their visibility. But they're getting closer and closer to the tail of this boat. Nicolini Offshore running in 4th place, but coming under more and more pressure now. There is Lux Media Offshore drawing alongside them. It's getting very close out there. Is a virtual eye replay of the move. You can see carrying another 6 or 7 kilometres of an hour into the turn. Lux Media Offshore make it through and into 4th place. Nicolini in boat 6 down to 5th. A long way clear of that though. The top 3 led by this boat, Extreme Marine. They won the first round of last year's championship when they were called Delma Marine, but the season went pretty badly wrong after that. Had a big crash in one of the rounds and wrecked their boat. This is a new boat. They won convincingly round 1 of this year's championship. They're still having to work hard because the black number 3 boat of Fazza, the Class 1 world champions Nadir Bin Hendi and Arif Al Safin on board, are within sight, closing them down, getting closer and closer. And let's not rule out the number 4 boat, the Green Machine of Abu Dhabi Racing. Ahmed Ali Al Hamli and Rashid Jabba Al Hamli are still in the hunt for a victory here, and they're getting better and better and better, that team. So here are the leaders. They're coming up to lap some slower boats now. The wake of one of those back markers you can see to the near side of the camera. There are the race leaders coming up to lap one of those boats now. They're going to have to be careful how they deal with these slower boats and try not to lose too much time. They haven't got much of a breathing space over Fazza. It's the number 69 Cosa Nostra boat from France, which they are lapping. It gets well out of the way though. Even so, Fazza closed them down on the way into the turn. So Fazza seemed to carry a little bit more speed into the turn in that number 3 boat. Here's a replay, and look at that. Much later to slow the boat down, but it's a tight line through the turns for boat 11, Extreme Marine, and it serves them well on the way out of the turn. So try as Fazza might on the way into the corners, they're not able to lay the power down as quickly coming out of the turns, and the gap goes back out every time they accelerate onto the straights. A pretty decent engine in that Extreme Marine boat as well, which is working well. On board with the 2nd place crew then. You see them bouncing around there over the waves. And they've got to watch their tails because Abu Dhabi Racing, number 4, are getting closer and closer. The gap down to under 70 metres now. And we've got a 3-horse battle for the lead of the race here. It's a very close race, this round 2 of the championship. It's important for Fazza to get a good result, having had that disastrous retirement in round 1. They started on pole, led the race, and the boat broke down in the 2nd turn of lap number 1. So they need good points here. It's only a 4-round championship. They can't afford another bad race. They'd dearly love to get the victory here, and they are getting closer and closer to the tail of Extreme Marine, running a little bit wide there. You can see the tighter turns being made by the race leaders in Extreme Marine, and a very tight turn from the 3rd place boat, the Green Machine of Abu Dhabi Racing as well.